Hello, everyone. I'm Pastor Surette. Welcome to Worship and Word Show. Not too long ago, I went to visit a church in Fort Lauderdale, Pastor Fritz. J'ai eu une opportunité pour me chita avec lui, pour me parler. J'ai eu une conférence à faire pour jeunes filles. Conférence était très intéressant. Il était fait un panel côté nous chita, nous parlé avec un pile jeunes filles qui étaient là. Et moi, c'était son bagage qui était besoin, qui était nécessaire en pile pour nous faire communauté, nous connaît que que jeunes filles ont enduré, qui marché avec bon Dieu. Et ça fait me porter chose ça pour aujourd'hui. Besoin pour capable comprendre bien, même temps pour tout qui est passer Fritz, pour qui est frère sur en prière qui font travail, c'est un gros travail lié. Et il était touché en pile jeune fille, et en pile jeune fille te gagné en pile question que qui était sous cœur, comment pour marcher, comment pour servir bon Dieu. Et c'est une bonne chose à te. So stay tuned and watch, and I'll be right back.
The next question is, what's the difference between dating and courting?
Dating, and it wasn't really leading towards marriage because at that time I couldn't see marriage. I was, in darkness. I couldn't see marriage as being something important. I see myself like when Pastor Joel, I was thinking a lot of notes, a lot of things, but she was saying, when we feel like we're so independent, I don't need to, I could be my own woman. I can do this and so forth. I don't need your help. I don't need to do this and so forth. So, it's important, because you gotta, marriage is something that God really, he can teach you. So the difference to me between dating and courting is that when you date is dating, going out with somebody, getting to know them. Courting is something leading towards marriage to me, that leading, but you have to be ready. You have to understand when somebody's courting you and he's dating you. When you going out with somebody just for fun, or when you really going out with somebody knowing that God will show you that person gonna be your husband. So there's a big difference. We have to pray and let God lead us to see if this person, if God called this person to be a husband.
The real woman of God who's being processed by God does not date. She waits on the Lord, and the man who wants to marry her doesn't come to date. When a man sees you, he wants to marry you, he says, there goes my wife. When a man sees you, he wants to poke you. He says, there goes a woman I want to go on a date with. So I know that a lot of people say, well, how do you get to know the person if you don't go out on a date with them? I said, don't worry about it. They already know you're the one. I asked my husband, why did you pick me? He says, I was, at the time we were in high school together, and I used to be on a track team. And so he says every day he would sit inside of a classroom to watch me run. And he told me, he told his friend, there goes my wife. He didn't, but yet the others, he would go out on dates with them. But he never came, like Pastor Julie was saying, he never came to talk to me until he was ready. There goes my wife. See, he didn't come looking for a date. He came to get married. So you have to understand that part of, having that spirit of discernment. Ask the Lord, and to give you that discernment spirit to learn how to wait on the Lord. And wait is really, really, truly is your best friend. Because the person who wants to marry you is going to come in, and that's the difference. The courting is going to court you. He's going to go directly to you. He's going to want to know your past. He's going to know your family. He's going to quickly move fast, because in the next thing he's going to say, will you marry me? All he has to do is come to your church and see how you worship God. He's going to watch you for a long time. He's not going to come and ask you out on a date. I know that we're moving forward in the 21st century, and people like to say, hey, this is a new thing. You got to go out on dates. These days are not dates anymore. I'm learning these terms now. People don't go on dates no more. They go out and have sex. Mm-hmm. That's the term now. It's not like back then where people used to go out. Back then when we were growing up, you had to have chaperones. Mm-hmm. What? I had I grew up with, in a family of five of us. If when he was taking me out, we all five went out.
Group date.
My mother was like, nah, you are going out. If we had to go to the movies, my sister came, my brothers came, and sometimes my father. It depends. And then I had to be checked out the door. You know, they check you. My mom had a way, she used to look at you like, my mother had this machete in her wall, okay? And then she would be like, don't make the machete touch you today. And then she'd check you out the door. There is no such thing. So you have to understand the term. I know I'm taking a little bit too much. I recently had a conversation in my Bible study with some of my girls. She said, I'm raising my daughter, and my daughter is now dealing with these new terms. And she said, how much of myself should I go involved, meaning go in and find out what is these modern terms speaking? Back then, spending the bottle used to mean like we spend the bottle and we give each other a kiss on the cheek. But now we spend the bottle and go in the closet and have anal sex. Girls are having anal sex, and I hope I can speak freely.
Speak free.
I apologize. Because they want to stay a virgin, you know, and so they think having sex in the back door means that I can stay a virgin. I'm okay. That's not okay, because you can still catch AIDS. Stuff can still happen to you back there, which is even worse. So she's like, how much should I go in and find out? Because when I go online and start researching and start, looking at these modern terms, she's like, these things are disturbing to my spirit. She's like, how do I equip myself to dealing with the modern terms, this 20th century, raising a child she's now 7, and they're moving quick. Well, I say, you anoint yourself in the blood of Jesus and you go learn these terms. When she's speaking on the phone to her friends, you know what's going on. She won't know that you know, but you make sure you know, cover your ears, cover your eyes, and then you go in, you learn the stuff, you read, and see what's going on. But you don't have to get yourself involved. But dating these days is not dating no more. And if you are seriously being processed by God, you have to learn to wait on the Lord. And there is no other word to it. And the person who wants to marry you, be your husband, they've been watching you. They're not just going to come to you, but they've been watching. They've been watching you, and when they're ready, they're just going to make themselves known, and they'll just ask you, will you marry me? It will be done.
I love when she said seriously being processed by the Lord. Such a big distinction between that. One thing I will hit on, if we're going to talk about this later, she said, but who is going to marry you already knows that you are his wife. And she didn't say that you will know that he is your husband. So now we have all these women who are going out saying, oh, God told me you my husband. No. He's going to say the husband first. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So you need just to wait, let God do what he's doing, and let him come to you. You are so much more than a date. So much more than that. So much more. One thing I do want to tap on is that when you study the cycle of temptation, when you study the cycle of sin, how does sin begin? Sin always becomes with that desire as you're being drawn away by your own desires. So be careful when you're a single woman and all you want to do is go out and date. That's your body telling you that you're about to fall into a sexual sin. So be careful and watch that. It's more than just, I just want somebody to talk to. No, you don't. You want somebody to hold you. I just want to go out to the movies. No, you don't, because if you did, you would go out with Daughters of Zion to go watch a movie at Pastor Fritz's house. That's not what you want to do.
Amen.
You want to do something else. So you have to be honest and see it for what it is. If you want to be married, you won't be satisfied with a date. You will wait for the right one.
Great.
The assignment that God gives us as men is greater than the woman. All you have to do is to submit. But we have to love you as messy as you can be. Regardless how you are, we have to love you. You give us headache, we have to love you. Now see what we do for Jesus Christ, right? You see how many headache you give him? Did he reject you? No. We have to love you in your mess. You give us bad mood, we have to come in the house, still love you. So our job is most difficult. Submit to us is nothing. But I would say, also, depending on the kind of person that you have in your life, don't say depending on the kind of person you have in the life to submit, is not what I'm saying. But depending on the kind of person that you have in your life, you will experience that true love as though it's God through him loving you. You understand, amen? So for me, I think our job is greater to love you. And I understand the way God says that he loves the church. He died for the church. We curse him, he still loves us. We do things against him, he still loves us. We sin today, we say, Lord, tomorrow we ain't gonna do it anymore. And then we fall back in the same trash. We commit adultery against him, and he just come back and take us as wife. And this is what God asks us to do as men. So our job is more difficult than your job to submit.
As God showed me myself, then I was able to accept me, learn how to accept me. And then these issues goes on, like self-esteem, confidence. You know, these are the things that causes us to retaliate and rebel, because they are like a vacuum inside of you. They want to suck the life, and they're sucking everything around you. So if you have these issues, you will be retaliating towards authority, towards the Lord, towards anything that is good, because these are like brokenness, and God is repairing them. He's going to work in them. But one thing that you must understand, God does not follow a man, and he didn't build the man to follow the woman. As soon as there is a reversed in that structure, God leaves, the man leaves, everything leaves. And as soon as Eve reversed the structure, God left. God was like, look, I built men to follow me, and I built the woman to follow the man. So once the structure of life, the purpose of the way God intended for it to be, once that's not in place, God leaves, the men leaves, the family leaves, everything gone. So if you want a family, these are things that you want to start, bringing your heart to the Lord at the altar. Lord, give me a new heart. Heal me, because I got some trust issues. I got some confidence issues. I got some self-esteem, always wanting to be, gratify. If you always find yourself always wanting to be gratified, always got to be noticed, always got to be, these are issues that you want to deal with early, because those are all plays along with being able to submit. You will not submit if you have these issues.
Eh bien, comme vous avez là, un pile bon conseil à bail, je vais une petite chance pour me parler avec Pasteur Fritz. Je vais prendre une petite pause, je vais back tout à l'heure.